Hello everyone, I'm Brian and welcome to Beez Blades, where we will go down the knife collecting rabbit hole together. I have a knife for you guys today and gals that I've carried for a while, and this is one of those that I couldn't find many reviews on, but I got it anyway. So let's take a look. This is the Boker Leviathan. It's designed by Jason Stout. And I'll give you time to check it out before we go into the specs. There's the show side, even though on this one, I don't know, it's kind of debatable which side is the show side, because that's pretty sharp too. Here's the top. I don't know if you guys can hear the dogs barking. I was trying to be quiet to see if maybe I could get the endless barking on there for you. All right, so we have black G10 handle right here, and this is stainless steel T6 screws for the body. There's only two on this side, and then the pivot screw is a T9, stainless steel back spacer and frame lock. Pretty solid knife. Overall length is 7.31 inches. Your closed length is 4.12, and these are my measurements. You can go to 5 different places and get 5 different measurements, so I gave you my measurements from the calipers, so this is what I got. Closed length is 4.12 inches. The blade length is 3.15, but that's from this point to this point, okay? The sharpened edge from the plunge grind, which is right here, this is your plunge grind. If you don't know, that's from right there is where I measured, because subjective, I guess. From this point to this point, it looks like you're safe at 2.92. So if you got to worry about that 3-inch blade rule, you should be good there. Blade width is 1.15 inches. The blade thickness is 0.125. Boy, I thought it was going to be more than that, but maybe it's just because it's a stout design. It's 21 thousandths behind the edge, which is right there. Let me give you a view of the edge. It's not the sliciest knife by any means, but it's definitely had no problem cutting things for me. When I compare it to some of my knives that have a lot thinner, that are thinner behind the edge, I consider this more of a workhorse. Let's see. The knife weight is 4.58 ounces, so it's not super light. Blade material is D2 tool steel. And then the blade style, I don't know. You tell me, guys. It's kind of a reverse Tonto Warren Cliffy clip point. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. It has a really neat looking swedge right here, which is this. There's a pretty neat looking swedge right there. Has a flat grind, and this is all stone washed. And this is made in China. Hopefully my budget will go up and I can afford some nicer knives. But for right now, it looks like I'm sticking to under $100 unless a knife really catches my attention, which I did pre-order one. So in April, you guys are going to get a neat treat. And so will I, of course. The fit in the hand is pretty comfortable. It fits my hand perfect. You can look at my last video and see the size of my hand for comparison. I have a medium-sized, beefy hand, if you will. You can, there's no jimping up here, but it is comfortable, and your hand definitely doesn't slip because you've got some traction or some grip on the inside here, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Hey, if you're still watching, give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss a part of this journey. I want you guys to go on this journey with me, with us, with they, together. All right, and I'm not going to keep bugging like some folks do and tell you that 10 times. So there's that. This knife is currently going for $71.21 on quite a few websites, actually. Quite a few of the sites, you guys. I'll put some links in the description below. And If you're wanting a all steel version, which is going to look like this on both sides, it's actually going to be a lot cheaper. You're looking at $49.96. So about 50 bucks to have this on both sides, which I actually think would kind of look pretty cool. That wouldn't be too bad. All right, let's do a couple comparisons for size. Let's see. First of all, here's the QSP Penguin that I did on my last review to give you an idea, size-wise. And here is the QSP Hawk, which this review is coming up very soon. So there's those. Okay, let's try, what's this? Civivi Insight, which has a bigger blade. All right, it's over here. This is one most folks have after they graduate from gas station knives. At least that's what I did. There's the Spyderco Tenacious. And I don't know, I might have to put this one in all my videos until something is better, but this is a beauty. I love it. This is the Spyderco Manix 2. So you can see it has a shorter handle. The blade length isn't a whole lot different there between the Manix 2 and the Tenacious. It's got some length on it. Here is the Gonzo Firebird. Yeah, we'll do a review on this one. I can't help it. I love the fidget factor of some of these knives. Anyway, there's the Firebird, before I digress. And the Kershaw Natrix. So there's some ideas for size comparisons. Okay, what's next? We'll do some pros and cons. You know, this is all subjective. So, you know, some of the things that bother me or I don't care for, you might not mind, and vice versa. The action works really well. The blade sharpens nicely. You know, I've heard some folks say that D2 is hard to sharpen. I don't know. I use DMT diamond stones, and also for my medium stone, I use a Spyderco ceramic, and I haven't really had any issues, but the action works really well. I like the blade shape and design. I think it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. The flipper, the action on the flipper, no wrist needed. Comes right out, no problem there. Reverse flick, no problem. This does have ball bearings in the pivot. Not in the pivot, you guys know what I'm saying. It has ball bearing washers. You can't really see them in there. They're in there. Upside down flick actually works on this one too. If you want to do some of that cutting. So that's a pretty good thing. Now one nice thing I kind of like about the stone wash is that it doesn't really show, you know, blemishes and scratches too bad. So I've done a lot of cutting with this knife on various things, and you know, it looks relatively clean. Let's see, as far as cutting, here you go. I have a lot of pieces of scrap leather. I make my own strops, and this is pretty heavy duty. This is easily a 1/4 inch. And as I was saying earlier about it not being super slicey, it's not like there's an issue with it cutting. I mean, this is some heavy duty, thick ass leather, and it's cutting it no problem. So you have to put a little bit of oomph, but it cuts through it no problem. Get the scrap out of the way. All right, so there's one thing about it that I think I'll go into a couple cons here, is the detent would be my biggest con. The detent is not all that strong. I can easily, here's your detent. It's only that. So I can pull this open and not get the action. Now, here's an example. The Kershaw Natrix, I cannot fail when flipping this knife. It will deploy every single time. No matter how hard I try to fail, I will not fail. It's every single time. I'm going to do a review on this one too. This one, it's easy to fail. You can just push it right out. Not sure if that's something that I can adjust, but you can fail no problem. Now, knowing that, and the fact that I've had it, I know to to flip it and don't mess around when you're going to use it. If you're going to open it. So, that might not be a big con. Some of you might have some knives where the D10 is just crazy and you don't care for it. So, that's one thing. Let's see. So the knife all together, it's not too bad. But I guess one other nitpick for me is the inside of the liner. Let me get uppy closey here. The inside of the liner right here. If you look there, it's actually taken like skin cells off. It's a little sharp all through here. And along the back here, it's not comfortable either. The Penguin, as I told you guys in my other review, is the edges are all smooth. It's a very smooth knife, except for that edge right there, but that's not what I'm talking about. All of this is smooth. Whereas on this guy, it's not bad if you actually are doing some work and you have a glove on. You can use this knife while wearing a glove, take it out, use the knife, and put the knife, back up. And it's a solid knife. There's a lot of knives that you can't really operate well with a glove on, and I wear working gloves a lot when I'm doing yard work around the house. And this sucker is easy to use with gloves on because it is really grippy because of those edges. So those edges aren't necessarily a bad thing. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it and how you're using it, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate all your feedback. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see a review of another knife that you've seen here, or you have a good idea. Right now I'm kind of trying to stick on, the $50 to $100 range. But if I find one of those ones that's 30 or 40 bucks and it's a good deal, I'm definitely all about it. I'm not rich. I know a lot of you out there aren't rich like me either. Or you're like me and you're not rich. Rich? You know what I'm saying. But you guys all have a great rest of your morning, day, evening, night. And just remember one thing. Don't cut yourself.